what's up? It's Danielle Ford, the founder of Young Moms Club, where young moms go to empower themselves and design their perfect lives. And I've encountered a lot of really offensive women in my life. And I actually had a really offensive husband, so I am no stranger to being offended. And it's probably because of those people. It's kind of one of those glass is half full type of things, but it's probably because of them that I don't really get offended. It takes a lot for me to become offended by something. I still encounter people who say rude things or who don't like me, if you can believe that, but it still happens to me. It's just I cannot honestly remember for the life of me the last time I actually got offended by somebody. So in today's video, I'm going to tell you the realizations that I've had that assured that I never ever get offended by anyone ever again. So keep watching. So there are two things that you need to have in place to make sure that you never ever get offended again. Number one is you have to accept yourself the way you are. Now you don't necessarily have to like it, but you have to accept it. And number two is you have to accept the fact that you don't have any control over any other people. The absolute only person you have any control over whatsoever is yourself. And if you fully understand and accept those two things, then you're never going to be offended again. And the reason for that is really simple. When somebody says something to you that is offensive, then their opinion is either one of two things. It's either wrong or it's right? So if their opinion is wrong, like if somebody says something that is wrong, who really cares? Like, what if somebody says, like, you're a bad mom? If you know that you're not a bad mom, then why do you really care what they think? And even if they give an example, like maybe of something you did that they think is bad, like, oh, well, you picked your kids up late, or you're too protective, or you're not protective enough, or you're this or you're that. Even if they're right about that, maybe, but you know that you're not a bad mom, then who cares? Why should you be offended by that? They are completely wrong. Fuck them. And that applies to everything, like your appearance, your skills, your smarts, whatever. If someone's giving you their opinion, it's negative, and they're wrong, there's no reason to take offense to it. Now, there is a second element to that can make you offended if you choose to. And it's when somebody says something offensive and you know you're wrong, like we just talked about, or you know they're wrong, like we just talked about, but then you take offense to the fact that they said it. You're like, well, why would you say that? You know how hard I try to work to be a good mom. I'm so offended that you said that to me. Well, that's where the second part comes in, because if you realize and accept that you have no control over other people, you do not need to understand them, you do not need to agree with them whatsoever, then there's no reason to be offended. So like if your best friend like out of nowhere is like, you're a shitty mom, instead of being like, oh my God, she thinks I'm a shitty mom, you would be like, okay, well, that's not true, And then instead of being like, why would she say that? Why is she trying to hurt me? You can be like, well, I don't have control over her, and I wonder why she's doing that. Did something happen? Why is she being a bitch? Is she PMSing? Is there, what's going on? So, like, it's not personal. You don't take offense to it. And then if you choose to, you can go deeper into the topic and kind of look at, like, why she's being like that or not. It's your choice, but there's no reason to get offended by it because it's not true and you can't control her. Now, what if somebody says something to offend you and they're right? Well, that is where fully accepting yourself comes in. And I'm not saying that it's easy. It's something that everybody struggles with, but you have to do it. You have to really work on fully accepting yourself. You have to fully accept that you are in the right spot. The way you look, where you are financially, what's going on, your family, your career, all that stuff, you are right now where you need to be. And that doesn't mean that you have to be 100% happy with it. Like you can be, wanting to change your appearance somehow, or wanting to work on your education, or, grow in your career, or change where you live, or whatever. But you have to fully accept and love the way that you are right now. Like, that's so important. Just love yourself, imperfections and all. So then if somebody offends you and they're right, then you're just like, okay, tell me something I don't know. And then we're back to that other topic of like, why would they say that to me? You know, why would they want to hurt me and offend me in that way? And then we go back to the fact that we can't control other people. We have no understanding of why they do the things they do. We don't need to understand it, and we don't need to validate like why they're such an asshole. So for an example, let's say that you've had a baby and maybe you have some weight to lose and you're not happy with it. And you look at your body and you're like, oh man, I really want to lose some weight. I should diet, exercise, yada, yada. But in the meantime, you are like, this is my body. I had a child. This is what happens. I love myself. And just be happy with the way you are. So now let's say that you get in a fight with your boyfriend and he knows that he knows all your insecurities. He knows, you know, what's going to hurt you. And he knows that you want to lose some weight and that you might not be 100% comfortable with your appearance. And so, you know, you get in a fight and he's like, well, you're fat, you know, because he's really trying to hurt you. But that's not going to hurt you or upset you or offend you because you love yourself the way you are. And even if he is right, you know that it doesn't matter because you're happy with how you are and you're right in the exact spot that you need to be. And then, of course, again, that crosses over into the like, why would he say that aspect? And you have no reason to understand everything he does. That would make you crazy. It's not your place to know like why he's being a total dick. The reasons behind why he's being a total dick crosses into relationship advice, and that's just like a whole nother video or series of videos. But that's all for today. So my point is really just love yourself. Be happy with where you are. You don't have to necessarily love it. You can want to change. There's a million things that I want to change. You know, like I'm always working on stuff, but that doesn't mean that I'm not happy with where I am right now. And if you really get all spiritual and everything, and you really believe that everything happens for a reason, then you can't not believe that you are in the right spot right now. And just remember not to let anyone offend you, not to let them hurt your feelings, because whether they're right, wrong, or indifferent, you are just you and no one else is. And as far as like caring what other people think, my dad said something one time about my ex-husband, and I couldn't understand why he was doing some things that he was doing and saying and everything. And he's crazy, but my dad said, you cannot rationalize with an irrational person. Like you can't. If you are a sane person, you can't understand why somebody else is saying things that don't make sense or they want to hurt you or whatever. Because if you could understand them, then you're just as damn crazy as they are. So be lucky that you can't. And it's very hard, but work on loving yourself in the meantime and being very happy with where you are right now. Okay, that's all for today. If you liked this video, then please click like, subscribe, share with any friends that need to hear this. And if you're not part of the club yet, then head over to youngmomsclub.com, enter your name and email, and I will connect with you one-on-one. I'm going to send you a free ebook. It's an easy read with a little workbook at the end called The 7 Steps to Being a Kick-Ass Young Mom. And I will send you videos like this weekly and any other like really important updates that you need to see. Okay, so thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week. People are just assholes. Like, people are rude. People say things, I'm like, why? Insane. Like, people are dicks. Rosie loves herself too. I love her so much, and she loves herself too. Oakley dokley. Woo, then we're done.